Well, guys, if you're watching this, it means you've decided to tune in to the pre-collaboration featurette, which I'm making right now. Now, this is pretty much, I'm just going to summarize a couple things that I have learned about Paul. And the only reason I'm talking about this is just because of the fact that despite how many people have seen the depths that he's willing to stoop to shut people up, there's still just as many people trying to defend him and trying to say he's justified in his actions. Okay, well, riddle me this, assholes. Imagine you just say one thing some random asshole doesn't like because they say a whole bunch of stupid shit to other people and try to make other people feel shitty about themselves because they themselves need an outlet to take out their problems on. Like, imagine, for example, you see someone making fun of someone else's depression and they're doing it just because they can, because they think it's funny someone else goes through some shitty time in their life. Now, if you call that person an asshole for acting as such, does that mean in turn they are justified to stalk, dox, and harass you, threaten to get you fired from your job, try to have someone engineer an argument with you and your significant other because they're so fucking stupid and lifeless they don't have anything more except for YouTube? If your answer is no, and they're not entitled to do such things, then congratulations, you're on the exact same fucking footing I am. Now, more or less, I'm just gonna talk about the fact that people are so willing to fucking do this. Like, I don't understand how anyone can do this and somehow claim that it's just a justifiable response. I mean, think about it. If he really wanted to be rid of me, he could have just fucking blocked me upon my initial questions on his fucking video. That's all it would have taken to have gotten rid of me. But he didn't want to get rid of me. More or less, he wanted to fucking stalk and harass me as a means of shutting me up because he figured he could take me. And when he couldn't, he sent other people to try to extort me to shut me up. And when that didn't work, he basically got striked and then deleted all the videos towards me, even those he made taking advantage of my girlfriend's emotional vulnerability in a desperate attempt to cover his own ass. And when that failed, he decided to make another channel dedicated to trying to back up the bullshit he started against other people. Like, honestly, the fact that he could barely take someone that had 26, maybe 25 subscribers in my previous channel, I would love to fucking see how he's gonna handle all of Leafy as Here's fans rushing to his videos just to verbally eviscerate him. I would love to see how he's gonna fucking handle that, because I'm pretty sure Subheather's gonna send hundreds of thousands of people death threats and try to dox everyone else. Which, the fact that she did that at all is fucking stupid. I mean, it's fucking YouTube. There's really no point to fucking do that to me at all. It didn't do anything. If anything, it just showed how desperate you are to shut people up. You can't prove me wrong in an argument simply because you have no argument. You proved that you are exactly the type of person that I made you out to be. There is literally nothing more to say except that you anally fucked yourself in every given opportunity and tried to pretend that you were just doing what came naturally. Un momento. I'm actually feeling a whole lot better now. I can actually breathe through my nose again. Granted, I'm still a bit congested, but I can still function. Thing is, though, more or less, you tried to say that his actions were justified because you just don't want him to understand that there are boundaries. If you simply call me an asshole on Facebook, fine. But if you call me not Facebook, YouTube, for fuck's sake. Thing is, though, if you call me an asshole on YouTube, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But I'm also entitled to not have to listen to it. But when you go to my fucking Facebook to harass my relatives, threaten to dox them if I make another video because Paul's little baby feelings got hurt, when I called him out for being a fucking sociopathic asshole who took advantage of someone I cared about, like that makes it a fucking crime if I call him out for doing exactly what he fucking did to someone else I know. Like, I didn't give a fuck about the fact that he commented on my videos. I pretty much blocked him and was over and done with it. The reason he didn't block me when I commented is because he needed me to perpetuate more drama to survive. And I hate that I'm sounding like a broken record when I say that, but it's true. He more or less needs the drama other people provide him with to remain relevant. I mean, I hate to mention Onision, I really do, because I hate that guy with a passion. Not because of how much he makes, but because of how much of an asshole he is. How much of an exploitionist he blatantly is, and people just fucking ignore it. And Paul is the exact same fucking way. I actually had a Facebook interview with one of Paul's former girlfriends. And in the collaboration, I will find a way to edit screenshots in before I upload it on Saturday night. But this ex of Paul's pretty much said he had attacked a member of her family attempting to choke this person out, despite the fact that knowing this person had cardiovascular issues. This person also had he also had his friends restrain this woman while he stole her electronics from her home and pretty much just walked out as though he was not doing anything wrong. The thing that baffles me is she said he came from a decent fucking family, which fucking surprises me. I mean, if he came from a decent family, I don't understand how he became such a piece of shit. I mean, my family has problems, sure, every family does. But you don't see me going around doxing people, threatening to release people's information, threatening to get people fired from their fucking jobs over someone simply calling me an asshole. I'll either argue with them, or if they're just doing it for no fucking reason, and if they're just doing it constantly, I'm just gonna block them and get it over with, because it just isn't worth the fucking strain. The reason I have such an issue with Paul's supporters is because they full right support the stupid shit he does. I mean, even when he goes too fucking far, they don't seem to fucking care. Like, a few people seem to have snapped out of it. A few people seem to understand that he's willing to go too far just to shut someone up and threaten to extort someone or have someone harmed just to get what he wants. But it's the people that clearly don't fucking understand the difference between what happens online and what could happen in real life as a connection to what happens online. I mean, I've never seen a lower group of scum-fucked pieces of shit than the people he associates with, who knowingly and actively pursue an endeavor that could potentially ruin someone else's fucking life, other than the fact that they want to. They don't really give a fuck that they're gonna potentially ruin someone's life outside of YouTube, because more or less they're obsessed with what happens on YouTube. They can't just, like, have an argument with someone in a comment section on a channel, or they can't just act like fucking mature adults and say, well, fuck it, he has an opinion of his own and he doesn't have to accept ours. Thing is, though, they don't do that. They prefer to, like, try to cram their beliefs down your throat. Like, more or less, this ex-girlfriend of Paul's pretty much said that the only friends he would have are friends that he could easily control, or friends that he could easily talk down to and shut them up whenever he felt he needed to talk. He basically treated his friends like nothing more but, I guess in her words, cronies, as in puppets, slaves, henchmen, people who are underlings and have no fucking thought process of their own. And honestly, that's what I see in his fucking YouTube career. That's what I see in the people that follow him on YouTube. It's just more mindless assholes that do everything he fucking says without even any consideration for whether or not there could be consequences that could be linked to them. Like, I know no one's probably going to watch this, but I just need to get this out of my system before I do the collaboration, so I'll be able to actually keep it on a streamlined thing, so David and Rantan will also be able to talk. Because I want them to be able to talk just as much as I will. See, that's the difference between a friend and a crony. A friend is allowed to speak as much as you are, and you're allowed to speak on equal footing. Where a crony is someone that you shut up at any time you feel they've talked too much. And they listen to you without having any sense of self. Honestly, the projections Paul has when it comes to psychology, and I'm not trying to get too deep into the field of psychology here, but I know enough about it as it is to know that Paul is just pissed that someone stood up to him. It's not a matter of what I said, it's not a matter of how I said it. He's just pissed that someone stood up to him and wouldn't just bow out when he demanded it. So he needed to do something shitty to piss me off, to make him feel as though he was justified. Just like when I simply told him I wasn't gonna join his fucking podcast. The first thing he fucking did was search out my fucking girlfriend after he saw the collaboration she and I did. She and I had done 2 collaborations before he did something really fucking shitty. The first thing he did was more or less send Jesse Ezrick Fun with Logic after us, which he basically just said a whole bunch of stupid shit, and then I basically found his channel and ripped him a fucking new one, and then he bitched about it, tried to insult my girlfriend because he's a sad, pathetic, lonely little bastard who has nothing in his life he gives a fuck about, which is normally how most of these little fucks are. It's either they are in a relationship, which is solely based upon shitting on other people, or they have no relationships at all, so they justify being an asshole by saying, well, look what this guy has. I am pissed at it because he has it and I don't, so I'm going to shit on him regardless of whether or not he's being accurate. And if he is being accurate, I'm going to be even more angry. And the thing is, though, shortly after I did that shit to Jesse Phone with Logic Edric, otherwise known as the clone of Phone with Logic, which isn't even the real Phone with Logic, he was a copy of the original Phone with Logic. The thing is, though, after I dealt with that dumbass, Paul pretty much showed up with a copy of one of my girlfriend's emotionally distraught vlogs, where she had talked about how upset she was with her depression issues. And Paul knowingly exploited this as a means of trying to piss me off because I stood up to him and wouldn't give him what he wanted. Because he was so used to being feared by smaller kids in high school that when someone told him to fuck off and stood up to him, he started pissing his pants at the idea that someone isn't gonna just bow out the moment he demands it. So he got fucking pissed. And honestly, he needs to fucking grow up. He's not in high school anymore. If he graduated in 2011 like his like his ex-girlfriend says he did, that means he only graduated 3 years before I did, which suggests he's 3 to 4 years older than me. So he's 26 to 25 fucking years old. He's almost fucking 30, but he's acting like he's fucking 15, getting pissed off at people for standing up to him, instead of owning up to his mistakes and saying, well, okay, I fucked up, I did something I shouldn't have, and I apologize. Thing is, though, people like Paul don't identify their mistakes because they refuse to accept that they themselves are human and can make errors. Now, I have made mistakes, no question. I made mistakes in my life without the shadow of a doubt. But there are a few things I have never done and will never do. I will never leak another person's documents, I will never search out another person's address, and I will never harass another person's family over stupid shit on YouTube. Why, you might ask? Because it's completely fucking meaningless. Like, if I want to own someone and basically show how stupid they fucking are, I'm just gonna do it by refuting their own points and pissing them off in the process. I don't need to do anything more than that. And I don't want to do anything more than that. Because it seems fucking stalker, like it seems like the fucking borderline stalker thing to do, and it would seem fucking excessive. Like there's no reason to do it. Before my old channel was taken down by the server error, I had uploaded the screenshots of Subheather's conversation with one of my relatives, which they had sent to me via screen capture. And some dumbass named Billy Blazin apparently thought it wasn't legitimate evidence, despite the fact that if you actually look up the person's fucking Facebook profile, since the original version didn't have the last name censored until after I did, just to protect this person's privacy, because even though she's a sauntering cunt, I still think she deserves privacy, which is something she fucking tried to deny me and my fucking family. So it goes to show I have a little bit more of a backbone and a little bit more of a sense of integrity than some psychopathic bitch who wants to drop everyone. Thing is, I wasn't even pissed at Paul about the comments. I was pissed at the fact that Paul was willing to do so many shitty things to someone he didn't know just because they were associated with me. And then I believe Heather is either his girlfriend or like a friend of his who happens to be a girl who has no romantic interest in him. I don't fucking know. And honestly, I don't really give a fuck. The fact that she was willing to fucking threaten to get me fired, attempt to contact my family, harass my family, and then trying to lie to them saying I'm somehow a fucking racist, despite the fact I have a mixed race girlfriend who I love more than anything on this whole fucking planet. But apparently, I'm still a racist, despite the fact that I love someone who's a different race than I am and don't really care what color they are as long as they're a good person. Like, honestly, half the shit that stupid bitch said in the comments is pretty much just really fucking simplistic shit that she herself is annoyed with. If you don't like me, you can simply ignore me and move on with your fucking life. Just like when the collaboration's done, I'm gonna be done with you. I'm not gonna discuss you again. It's that fucking simple. But of course, you're so fucking stupid and obsessed with drama that you're gonna keep trying to claw me back into it. You're gonna keep trying to contact me with one duplicated profile after another because you're so fucking stupid and easily manipulated by Paul's bullshit that you refuse to have a life of your own. You're basically Paul's lapdog, and you refuse to accept it. You really think he gives a fuck about you? He doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck about anyone other than himself. His whole objective in life is to basically use people and pretend everyone else is an asshole for calling him out. So don't be surprised if one day he gets sick of you too when he finds someone else who's easier to manipulate. Like you said arrest me, bitch. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that if that actually were to happen, you'd lie your fucking ass off. You'd lie up and down saying you didn't fucking do it, despite the fact photographic evidence exists not only on my tablet, on my laptop, in my email, in my relatives' emails, as well as their phones. So no matter what the fuck you did to wriggle out of it, we'd still have fucking proof. And there's really no point in fucking arguing about it. Because though Paul is such a limp dick little piece of shit that he's gonna tell people he doesn't do things, and then he's gonna turn around and do the things he doesn't claim to do to people who try to call him out for it. And then the moment they have evidence, he tries to fucking glance them away from the evidence by simply saying, no, this isn't true. Do not pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Look at this little sparkler over here I'm gonna light. See this? This is a small fucking distraction compared to the big mountain of bullshit I'm trying to hide behind my back. I mean, seriously, if you really wanted to go like a visual metaphor, imagine, for example, someone's looking for something and he has like that thing, like it's a massive object, mind you, but it's behind his fucking back. And then he tries to distract him with something much smaller and much less meaningful for the sole purpose of trying to make them think that the object that they're looking for is not fucking there. And that's pretty much what he does. He covers up evidence time and time again, or tries to silence people time and time again. And the thing is, he hasn't just done this now, he hasn't just done this a couple of years from now. Apparently, according to this ex who I interviewed, he had done this all throughout fucking school. He would find people that were smaller than him and pick on them, beat the shit out of them, just because it made him feel like a big fucking man. Like, I wasn't bullied in school, nor was I a bully. But I had seen people get bullied in school, and the people who bullied them were these sad, pathetic pieces of shit who had no lives and couldn't do anything. So they treated other people like shit because their mothers and fathers didn't pay enough attention to them, or simply because they were wealthy and they felt entitled to treat people like fucking doormats. Like, according to this ex, thing is though, according to this ex that I had interviewed, Paul, when he was a junior in high school, had grabbed a freshman who was much smaller than him and told him to hold still while he hit him in the head. And he said that if he moved, he was going to hit him 10 more times or 9 more times. Like it was 9 or 10, I can't exactly remember which. Hold on, I'll pull up the actual interview. Hold on. I'm sorry this is taking so long, everyone. I don't mean to make this last forever. I really don't, because I just want to get this thing just as finished as the rest of you do. And if you don't want to watch the video, by all means, you don't have to. But the least you could do is actually, like, once I did it, you can feel free to just, like, read through it at your leisure, like, once you see fit to do so. Hold on, I'm sorry, this is gonna take me a minute. Yeah, he would do it 10 more times. Yep. That's it. I thought it was. And I'm sorry it took me so long to find that. I had to like scroll through all the screenshots I got of the interview. Thing is, though, more or less, Paul has a history of doing that to people. And the problem is, he figured that since I was a significantly smaller channel, he figured that I was just gonna like get stomped on or like just crumble under his foot. But when I didn't, he basically started pissing himself. So he sent people after me to find out my location, to find out my name, to find out where I work, to find out where my family lived. Why? So he could threaten to have my family's locations revealed or exploited so that I would be quiet. And when I refused to be extorted, when I refused to just kowtow to everything and submitted evidence, they're just going to start being quiet now because they realize they gave me the upper hand. I didn't require the upper hand to win, but now I have it, and they can't do a fucking thing about it. I don't mind if you support Paul if you knew him, but the least you could do is hold him accountable for the shit he's done to other people. And at least try to accept the fact that when someone has fucking evidence, they have fucking evidence. You don't just discredit the evidence when it's right in front of your fucking face. Especially when it's perpetrated by people who you know and associate with. Because then it just seems like you're in denial and simply refuse to look at it because it doesn't benefit your agenda. You remind me of these political fanatical assholes who simply say, well, this isn't the way the Bible was written, and then they ignore a lot of the fucked up verses in the Bible and try to cram it down people's throats because it benefits their belief system. Like, Paul is the type of sick bastard who will take advantage of literally anything in anyone's life. Just like when he took advantage of take shot action self-harming in a tiny chat. He's so fucking stupid he can't tell the difference between a paperclip and a razor blade. And for some reason, he thinks that it was only about YouTube. Yeah. Like he's literally that stupid. Like he tries to trivialize everyone's problems and downplay them to the point where it's like, oh, it's only about YouTube. No, it's not about YouTube. It's a matter of the fact that you're a disgusting little asshole who tells people to fucking kill themselves regularly. And when they tell you that you should do the same, you fucking cry wolf and send people after them because you're too much of a dickless pussy to just accept the fact that other people are sick of your bullshit. You're a fucking coward. And you refuse to accept accountability for your fucking actions. Enough is enough. After the collaboration on Saturday, I'm gonna leave you behind. Because let's face it, you're done. Your channel has pretty much destroyed itself because you finally did something you shouldn't have, and you have no one to blame but your fucking self. You nihilistic, sociopathic, manipulative, cunt-faced little dust mask wearing piece of shit. Anyway, I'm gonna relax now. This video is done. Fuck you, Heather. Fuck you, Paul. Piss off. Get wrecked. Get fucking wrecked.